What if the one message you sent by mistake changed your entire life in 5 minutes flat? Hit that like button right now if you believe in fate, and subscribe with notifications on, because this story about a single dad, a cold CEO, and one flirty text is about to melt your heart. Let's dive in. Jake Thompson balanced a lukewarm cup of coffee in one hand and his 6-year-old daughter Lily's glittery backpack in the other. The morning sun sliced through the kitchen blinds of their tiny rental house on the edge of Willow Creek, painting gold stripes across the chipped linoleum. Lily sat at the table, legs swinging, tongue poking from the corner of her mouth as she colored a unicorn purple. "Daddy, will Miss Harper like my picture?" she asked, holding up the paper like a trophy. Jake ruffled her curls. "She'll love it, Munchkin. Teachers live for unicorn art." He glanced at the clock, 7:42 a.m. Daycare drop-off, then the construction site, then pick-up, dinner, bath, bedtime stories about magical forests where daddies never had to work double shifts. Rinse, repeat. His phone buzzed on the counter. A reminder, parent-teacher conference tonight, Harper Reed, 6:30 p.m. He typed a quick note to himself, thumbs flying, "Don't forget to charm the Ice Queen." Harper Reed was legendary at Willow Creek Elementary, brilliant, beautiful, and about as warm as the January wind off the lake. Parents whispered that she'd once made a grown man cry with a single raised eyebrow. Jake had never met her, but the rumor mill painted her as the CEO type who'd wandered into education by accident and now ran the school like a Fortune 500 company. He meant to save the note in his reminders app. Instead, bleary-eyed and still half-dreaming of the sleep he hadn't gotten, he sent it to the last number he'd texted, Harper Reed herself. The message whooshed off with a cheerful ping. Jake stared at the screen. His stomach dropped through the floorboards. No, 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 he clawed at the recall button that didn't exist. The text sat there, damning and flirty, "Don't forget to charm the Ice Queen." 5 minutes. That's all it took. 5 minutes of Jake pacing the kitchen, cursing under his breath, Lily obliviously adding sparkles to her unicorn's mane. The doorbell rang. Jake froze. Lily bounced up. "I'll get it." "No, baby, Daddy's too late." She yanked the door open, and there stood Harper Reed. In the flesh. Tailored black coat, heels that could slice bread, chestnut hair twisted into a knot so precise it looked engineered. Her eyes, storm gray and sharp enough to cut glass, locked on Jake. In her hand, the unicorn drawing Lily had thrust forward like an offering. "You must be Lily's dad," she said, voice smooth as chilled silk. Jake's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Lily tugged Harper's coat. "Did you like my picture?" Harper crouched, coat pooling around her like spilled ink. "It's the most majestic unicorn I've ever seen." She tapped the purple horn. "Excellent use of violet." Lily beamed. Jake finally found his voice. "Miss Reed, that text was a mistake, I assume?" She straightened, one eyebrow arching. "Though I'm curious what charm tactics you had in mind." Heat flooded Jake's face. "I swear I thought I was saving it as a note." "I'm not, I don't usually." Harper's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then back at him. Something flickered across her face, amusement? Annoyance? "Conference is at 6:30. See you then, Mr. Thompson." She turned on her heel and was gone, leaving only the faint scent of vanilla and cedar in her wake. Jake shut the door and leaned against it. "Daddy, is Miss Harper your girlfriend now?" Lily asked. He groaned. "Let's get you to daycare, kiddo." The school parking lot that evening was a battlefield of minivans and nervous parents. Jake smoothed his one decent button down, the one without paint splatters, and rehearsed apologies in his head. Inside the classroom, Harper sat behind a desk that looked borrowed from a boardroom, sleek, impersonal, not a single finger painting in sight. She gestured to the tiny chair opposite her. Jake folded his 6'2" frame into it, knees knocking the underside. Lily's reading is above grade level, Harper began without preamble, sliding a report across the desk. Her math skills are strong. Socially, she's a leader. Jake exhaled. That's good. However. Harper tapped a manicured nail on the folder. She's mentioned her dad works late. Sometimes falls asleep before story time. Jake's stomach twisted. I'm doing my best. Daycare closes at 6, site runs till 5:30, traffic, I'm not judging. Her tone softened a fraction. Just observing. Silence stretched. Jake rubbed the back of his neck. About the text, Harper held up a hand. Already forgotten. But her eyes said otherwise. They held his a beat too long, and something electric zipped down his spine. Lily's lucky to have you, she said finally. Not every parent shows up. Jake left the conference lighter, though he couldn't say why. Over the next weeks, Harper became a fixture in the strangest way. She'd appear at the construction site at lunch with extra sandwiches because Lily mentioned you forget to eat. She'd linger after school, helping Lily with spelling while Jake finished late. She never smiled, well, almost never, but her presence filled the cracks in their patched-together life. Jake learned pieces of her: Harvard Business Review on her desk, a photo of a younger Harper in a cap and gown with parents who looked like they summered in the Hamptons, a faint scar on her wrist she hid under silver bangles. He learned she'd taken the principal job to fund the hospital her late brother needed. Then lost him anyway. Willow Creek General, the town's only hospital, bore the Reed family name in understated brass letters. Harper ran it remotely through a board she'd handpicked, pouring profits into pediatric cancer research. Cold CEO? Maybe. Ice Queen? The more Jake saw, the less certain he became. One Thursday, the sky cracked open. Rain hammered the trailer roof where Jake ate lunch. His phone buzzed. Harper. Need a favor. Meet me at the hospital. Urgent. He arrived soaked, boots squeaking on polished floors. Harper waited by the elevator, coatless, sleeves rolled up, exhaustion carved into her face. They're short-staffed in pediatrics. Lily's class is doing a field trip tomorrow, but one of the kids, Tommy, he's scared of needles. His mom can't be there. Can Lily come early? Be his buddy? Jake didn't hesitate. Of course. The next day, he watched from the hallway as Lily held Tommy's hand while a nurse drew blood. Harper stood beside them, voice steady, explaining every step. When Tommy cried, Harper didn't flinch. She simply produced a sticker chart and promised a superhero cape for bravery. Jake's chest ached. That night, he texted her, "You were amazing today." 3 dots appeared, vanished, reappeared. Harper, coffee tomorrow? My treat. No Ice Queen remarks, promise. He stared at the message until the screen dimmed. Their first coffee wasn't a date, Harper insisted on that. They met at Brood Awakening, the only place in town with decent espresso. She wore jeans and a soft sweater, hair loose for once. I owe you an explanation, she said after the barista left. The hospital, the job, the frostiness. Jake listened as she spoke of her brother, Ethan, leukemia at 16, misdiagnosis, a system that failed them. How she'd clawed her way through business school to buy the hospital outright, vowing no child would wait for a bed. I shut down, she admitted. Built walls so high I forgot the door. Jake reached across the table, thumb brushing her knuckles. Walls keep out the cold. But they keep out the warmth, too. Harper's eyes glistened. She didn't pull away. Winter settled in, bringing snow and complications. Jake's boss cut hours, budget cuts. Rent loomed. Harper offered help, he refused. pride, stubborn and stupid, kept him up at night. Then Lily got sick. Not a cold, fever spiking, cough rattling her tiny frame. Urgent care sent them to Willow Creek General. Harper met them in the ER, still in heels from a board meeting. She's dehydrated, the doctor said. Possible pneumonia. We'll admit her. Jake's world narrowed to beeping monitors and Lily's raspy breathing. Harper stayed. She brought coloring books, read stories in funny voices, held Jake when he finally broke down in the corridor. I can't lose her, he whispered into her hair. You won't, Harper said fiercely. I own this place, remember? Best care in the state. Money, it turned out, could buy excellent doctors. Lily improved. But the bill. Jake stared at the printout, numbers blurring. Harper found him in the cafeteria. It's taken care of. I can't, you can. And you will. Consider it back pay for every sandwich, every bedtime story you let me crash. Jake looked at her, really looked. The woman who'd once seemed untouchable now had flour on her sleeve from baking cookies with Lily in the hospital kitchen. Why me? He asked. Harper's smile was small, real. Because you sent a flirty text to the wrong number. And somehow, it was exactly the right one. Spring arrived with dogwood blossoms and new beginnings. Jake's construction firm landed a hospital renovation contract. Harper swore she had nothing to do with it, but her wink said otherwise. They moved into a house with a porch and a tire swing, close enough to the school that Jake could walk Lily there on mornings he wasn't on site. Harper kept her CEO title but delegated more, trading boardrooms for finger paints. One June evening, Jake found her on the porch steps, staring at the sunset. Penny for your thoughts, Ice Queen, he teased. She elbowed him. Thinking about that first day. You looked like you'd seen a ghost. I thought my life was over. He sat beside her, lacing their fingers. Turns out it was just beginning. Lily burst through the screen door, unicorn cape flapping. Daddy. Miss Harper. Tommy's coming for a sleepover. Harper laughed, the full, unguarded sound Jake had come to live for. Better set up the fort, cowboy. Later, after tucking in two giggling kids, Jake pulled Harper close under the porch light. Marry me, he said simply. No ring, no speech, just the words and the truth behind them. Harper's answer was a kiss that tasted like coffee and forever. If one mistaken text can rewrite two broken hearts into a family, imagine what a little courage could do for you. Hit like if this story warmed your soul, subscribe for more feel-good romances that prove love finds us when we least expect it, and drop a comment. Have you ever sent a message that changed everything? Turn on notifications. Next week, we're diving into a story about a barista who served coffee to a prince in disguise. See you there.